also my body cannot differentiate answering an email and being hunted for sport. So just bear with me. I could sit in this room for 3 days straight. That would be quite the first impression, honestly. Hello my friends, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I asked you guys in one of my recent TikTok videos to ask me any questions related to business, life, or anything that you wanted to know about me. Out of those questions, I have gathered 20 and I'm gonna answer all of them for you. I have every intention in my heart to make this a chatty ass video, so grab a snack, a beverage, clean your house, put it on like a podcast, whatever you have to do. Let's just get to know each other a little bit, shall we? Question number 1, was starting a business on your to-do list post-grad? Absolutely not. From the ages of like 10 to probably 22 when I started all of this rhinestoning stuff, I wanted to work for Pixar. I knew that it was gonna take me years upon years upon years to even get my foot in the door to Pixar, but I was willing to put every single ounce of myself into getting there. The turnover at Pixar is basically non-existent in Disney. It's non-existent, and they have the best of the best working for them. So I knew that I was gonna be like 40 years old with like barely my pinky toe, like across the threshold, and I was ready. Like, I was mentally prepared to like work super hard to get there. And it's not that I think that I couldn't do it, it's just like not on the priority list at the moment. Working for myself has been a dream, and I never thought that I'd be here, but I'm so grateful that I am. It is definitely not for the weak, I will tell you that right now. I have learned so much. I have learned so much about myself, my art, the things that I love to do, the things that don't bring me joy whatsoever. I've learned a lot about the internet, about the people on the internet, about the algorithms amongst apps on the internet. There's just a lot, but I'm grateful for it every single day. Question number 2, how did you start your small business? Entirely on accident, and when I say that, I am so serious. Post-graduation, I was extremely lost, and I had no idea what to do with my life. Without the direction from like a professor or a grade, I had no idea what the fuck to do. I was feeling very hopeless post-grad because I had applied to so many jobs within my field of art and didn't get a single one of them. So I was like, if I can't create for somebody else, I at least owe it to myself for working this hard to just create for myself. And that's when I started posting on TikTok. The GradCap video that I posted that literally got me to where I am today, I had in my drafts for 5 months. I had no intention of posting it because I was picking every single thing apart. I was like, what if I sound weird? What if someone makes fun of how I say this thing or that thing? And then at one point I was like, fuck it. And I just posted it, and like over a week, I think I amassed like 3,000 followers and 1 million views on that one video. I had no idea that I was gonna reach the community that I did, but without it, I wouldn't have the platform that I have. I wouldn't have the camera that I have to film this video. I wouldn't be posting on YouTube anyways. It is crazy, it really is. And kind of rolling into question number 3, a piece of advice for new business owners: post your shit on the internet. When I first started and I first posted my GradCap video, I was like, oh, people like 3-minute long voiceover videos. Not everybody does. Some people don't like to watch videos that long. Some people don't like to listen to me talk for that long, and I get it. But like, if you are not saying, here's me, here's what I do, this is what I love doing, look at what I do, you're not gonna fucking get anywhere. And in a year 2025, social media runs the planet. And if I could tell my 22-year-old self something before posting on the internet, your first video is gonna be shit, it's not gonna be perfect, post it and then keep going. Post it, practice your editing skills, practice your voiceover skills, practice getting used to talking to a camera. It's not gonna happen the first try. And it might not even happen the 20th try. It might happen your 100th try, it doesn't matter. You never know which video is going to blow up. You never know who's gonna notice what video. The tequila bottle video that I posted on my TikTok, that is how I got the opportunities to make jackets for Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan. Like, what on earth? Posting on the internet is how people saw my work and asked me to make a trunk for Sabrina Carpenter. Post on the internet, please, please. Like, just post on the internet. Doesn't have to be a long video. It can be a cute little montage. Post on the internet. Question number 4 is, what is the hardest part about running your business? The hardest part for sure is like finding balance in my social life between my full-time job and rhinestoning. But the thing that I always kind of forget is such a difficult part for me is sending things out. I am such a perfectionist, like to a severe and like really awful extent. I could look at a jersey or a grad cap and be like, that little thing could be better. Oh, that little thing could be a little bit straighter. If I could do that for hours. At some point, it has to go out. And also, you are your own biggest critic, so of course I'm gonna recognize the flaws in the things that I do. But I also know that I wouldn't be comfortable sending something out if it wasn't up to my standards. But yeah, I know in my heart, every single time that I send something out, that I am proud of it. It's little teeny tiny details that like the everyday person would not notice or even care about. but I care about them. And it's ruining my life. But going back to the balance part that I was talking about before, I am such an introvert. I could sit in my house and sit at my desk and listen to my smut books for hours. I could sit in this room for 3 days straight. I could have like a little sparkling water. I could get like a little bagel, a little coffee. You would never see me. But I do have obligations to fulfill. And I do have friends that worry about me, which I'm very grateful for. But there are times too where I am like, the last thing that I want to do right now is rhinestone, and I just want to sit in my bed and rot and doom scroll. And I've gotten a lot better about this in like the last couple of months, more specifically, about giving myself days to like actually do that, because like some days you just need that. It like lets me factory reset, you know? Question number 5, what is your favorite part about running your business? Number 1 thing is for sure talking to people and like building rapport and building a community, but also getting better with every single project I do. The more that I learn with my skills, the more that I can share with you guys and post on the internet, and then the more people I can talk to, the more community that I can build. So it's like a snowball effect in the best way. Not one project is the exact same as another one. I have done 8 A&M jerseys, the white jerseys with like the maroon lettering with like the silver outline. I've done 8 of them. Every single one teaches me something new, and every single one is different in its own way. And that's why I love art. That is why I love what I do. I know what I'm getting myself into, but it's also like, what am I gonna encounter today? How am I gonna be a better artist after this project? It's so fun. But also my body cannot differentiate answering an email and being hunted for sport. So just bear with me, I beg of you, I'm trying my very best. Question number 6, what are things you didn't expect about running a business? There are corners of the internet that I did not know I would reach, and I am part of so many different communities that it is crazy. And with being an artist, there are so many different things that I can do to reach so many different walks of life. Little 24-year-old me inspires so many people on a daily basis. Like, that's crazy. It makes me want to cry, and it's such a cool feeling. On the days that I don't want to do anything, I don't want to film, I don't want to rhinestone, I don't want to draw, I always remind myself that there are people that want to see what I do next. There are people that are rooting for me, and it's so wild. Like, that is like, what? And every single day, I will never be able to fathom that. Question number 7, what inspired you to start a business? Corporate America and the lies we were told as kids that if you went to college, you would get a job, no problem. Welcome to my channel. We are not holding anything back. I'm being so serious though. Like, from the age of like out of the womb, basically, I have been anxious and I have been so scared to fail. I would grind myself to the bone. For every single homework assignment, for every single project, every single test, I was like, if I fail, I am the worst person on the planet. My parents will hate me. I'm gonna let them down. Like, this is shit that I would actually think about. There is one like very vivid memory that I think about every so often. I was in 2nd grade and I was taking a spelling test. There was one word that was for bonus points, mind you. I memorized it, but in that moment, I was having like a little bit of a brain fart, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fail. This was for bonus points. This is for things that I could like use to boost my grade, as if my grade needed to be boosted any higher. I remember I got 100% and the bonus points on that fucking test, but like, if there is one way to sum me up as a human being in high school, or just like in all of my schooling in general, there was a day in high school that I had to go to the dean's office for something that I don't know if I'm allowed to share on the internet. Maybe one day. I didn't sign an NDA. I wasn't in trouble. It was just like, it's hard to explain. But I had to go to the dean's office for something, and I literally had to ask somebody where it was because I did not know. I had never been there. I was a senior in high school. I went to college for an art degree, and I knew from the jump that I was gonna have to work 10 times harder to prove myself, because there are people in this world that don't think art degrees are actual degrees. The same people that consume so much art every single day, that's something I could talk about for hours. Like I said earlier, I was prepared to be 40 years old and barely getting in the door in Pixar. Like, I was ready for that. I had the grades to prove it, I had the portfolio to prove it, I had the resume to prove it, I won the awards for my grades and my art to prove it, and I applied to over 175 jobs and didn't get a single one. Jobs that were also all entry level, because I know my place. I'm not trying to take someone's senior level graphic design firm job, right? Jobs that I was arguably overqualified for, but the reason why I didn't get them is because I didn't have 7 to 10 years of experience at 22 fucking years old. I had the time to be bitter about it, and I have been bitter about it, and I'm still fairly bitter about it, but now I work for myself almost entirely, and like every single day is a step to my dream job, and it's great. All I've ever wanted to do all of my life is make art, and that's what I will work for. I have my full-time job as my routine. It's great, and then I get to come home and I can just rhinestone and draw and talk to you guys, and edit videos, and it's awesome. I would love to be working for a graphic design firm, but like if I was working for one, maybe I would have never done this. It's all falling into place exactly the way that it was meant to. Question number 8, who inspired you to start content creation? If you've been following me since before the grad cap video that I posted and before I started rhinestoning at all, I vowed to myself that because I had a really hard time navigating my post-grad life, that I would just be posting whatever I wanted to on TikTok. The people that inspired me to bite the bullet and just do it are Anna Sitar, Brittany Broski, and then my longing of wanting to be a YouTuber. I love talking to myself. It's so therapeutic. Anna Sitar has always been just like a really sunshiny spot of the internet for me to go back to when I'm feeling down. Brittany Broski, I am on my knees for that woman, honestly. And I hope that I'm at least 1/10 of the woman that Brittany Broski is when I grow up. She is so smart and witty and funny, and dude, she has reposted my art before on her story, and she's also liked my TikToks before, and I hope that at least once in my life that I'll be able to tell her how much her content means to me. I would shit my pants if I was in her presence. Like, oh my god, that would be quite the first impression, honestly. I really do think that she is so cool, so. Number 9, who inspires you as an artist? My favorite artist of all time is Keith Haring. I have a tattoo on my arm. This little guy, he's upside down, but like, you get the gist. Usually this guy's holding a little heart, but I turned it into a star because I love stars. My love for line work and illustrative art came from Keith Haring, and I just love him. His work is just so mesmerizing to me, and I really wish I could have been alive around the time that he was still alive. Always and forever, he will be such a cool person in my mind, and like, I literally just, I have a tattoo. Like, how much more permanent can it get? There's another artist named Lauren Martin that I love. I love her work. Her artwork is what made me branch out to have other people's artwork hanging in my house. There was a weird guilt thing that I had about not having just my artwork hanging in my house. I went an entire year without hanging any artwork in my apartment because I was so fixated on this has to be perfect. People are gonna see this. What are they gonna think of me if they see this? Like, I'm working through it, okay? I'm getting through that. Because of her, I was able to kind of work through that guilt and work through that like stress and anxiety about having to prove myself through the things that I hang on a fucking wall in my house. I have an entire wall in my house covered in her artwork because it's my favorite. Every single month, she makes wallpapers for your phone that you can download and like set on your background. And without fail, every single month I have had her wallpapers. So this month in January 2025, it is Little Eggs. She's so talented. She's so cool. Question number 10. Any advice on how to price items that you are selling? This is gonna sound like a non-answer, and I'm so sorry, but it really just depends on what you think is fair. You just have to take into account how much your supplies are, how long it takes you to do things, how you fit it into your schedule. Like, I work a full-time job and I do this in my free time. If you're selling an item in bulk, like stickers, I took inspiration from other artists of how they priced their stickers, used their prices as like a kind of a set range for mine, if that makes sense. Do your research, reflect a little bit. Yeah, that's how I figured out my prices for stuff. Question 11, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I definitely do not see myself in Arizona, and I'm definitely not gonna be at this desk. Maybe the Chicago area, New York, Boston, kind of. But I would love a little studio. Grab a little coffee on the way there and just be creative and just be in the zone. And then go back to like an entirely separate location and just be a human being, you know? Whether it's 5 years, 10 years from now, I don't care. I'm gonna get there eventually. I have my mind set on it, so it'll happen. Number 12, business essentials to invest in. Running a business at the very core of it is expensive. This camera was expensive, the computer that I work at is expensive, my rhinestones in bulk are expensive, but at the very least, make sure you are investing in yourself. That sounds very cliche, and I get it. If you are not in it, it's not gonna happen. Your whole heart has to be into it, or else it's just not gonna be as successful as you want it to be, and then it's just not gonna be fulfilling, and then it's just gonna kind of fall flat, and that's never really an outcome anyone shoots for. In your business, you are the #1 priority. Keep that in mind. Number 13, what would I do differently if I could start over tomorrow? I 100% wish I would have invested my time into a website instead of going directly to Etsy. I have been in the trenches with Etsy before. It's frustrating, and Etsy's very picky about certain things, and it can be very limiting. I did start my business just selling stickers, so Etsy was like the necessary step for me at that time, but I very much think that I could have probably gained the same amount of success, maybe even more, with just a website. Do your research on it though. Like, you can use Shopify, you can use Etsy, there are other things you can also use. I personally think that it would have been the best if I would have just sat down at my computer and like made a whole website. But like, when I really think about it, I did not have the experience and I was just trying to get my art out there. And Etsy's good for that. Etsy really is good for that. Definitely not long term, at least not for me. Number 14, will you ever end up hiring anyone to help you run your business? For rhinestoning, no. For other things in the future, yes. I work out of a room in my house, so right now, no. Personally, I don't think I would ever be able to trust anybody else with rhinestoning the jerseys that I get from customers. That is I know exactly what I'm doing, I know exactly how to do it, I know exactly how my brain works and how I could tackle certain projects. So that'll always be me. In the future, I want to sell like sweatshirts and more stickers and prints and stuff, and if I could get people to help me like package those things, that's what I could see myself like hiring people to do. But for right now, I'm very content with it just being me. Question 15, what is the strongest part of your business? I don't want to sound cliche when I say this, but I genuinely think that it is my ability to work and get things done regardless of the situation. So me, essentially. Working in this business, it ebbs and flows so much. I had a crazy fall season last year. Christmas was not busy at all. I already know just from like previous videos that I've posted and the amount of attention that I've gotten around grad caps that my grad cap season this year is going to be crazy, which I'm very excited about because grad caps are so fun, dude. The idea of rhinestoning a grad cap to make someone just feel a little bit more special on their big day celebrating a huge accomplishment is like, that's so cool. What do you mean I get to be a little part of your big day? Like, that is so fun. But the outside influences, like the algorithm, the internet, clientele sometimes, whatever it may be, does not always happen the way that I want it to or hope it will. But at the end of the day, I know that I have myself to be able to carry out the best quality that I can possibly create, and also know that every single project that I do, I put my entire being into it. Number 16, what could be stronger about my business? My social media presence for sure, and also my time management. There are some videos that I'm like, I was so excited to post this and I got like 2,000 views. I am so appreciative of any of like the views, the likes, the follows that I get from the videos that I post. But I can't lie when sometimes I'm like, ooh, the bitches gonna love this, and the bitches in fact do not love this. And that can be defeating. But I've worked on myself and I know myself enough to know that that does not define my worth. It doesn't define how well the project came out. It doesn't define how much the customer's gonna love it. There are some days where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back from social media, but when I take a step back from social media, the only thing I can think about is what my next video is gonna be. And then for my time management, there are days where I'm like, okay, well, I know that this one thing's gonna take me 3 hours. So like, I could start it at 8 and be done before midnight. And then I'm like, okay, but like, I could start at 9 and then be done by midnight. And then I'm like, okay, well, staying up till 1 a.m. isn't that bad. Like, it's Friday. Like, I do that a lot and I procrastinate a lot, but I work very well under pressure. So like I said earlier, it gets done. I have the full capability of getting everything that I need to get done. But sometimes I'm just like, but like, maybe I could just like take a 30-minute nap and then like doom scroll for 30 minutes before I start. I feel like if I was working for myself full time, it would be different, especially because like I go from sitting at a desk at work for 8 hours to coming back to sitting at a desk. Sometimes I don't want to be sitting at a desk, which is valid, but you gotta do it, girl. Question 17, what are some of my favorite projects I've done? My favorite projects always happen to be hockey jerseys. I just finished a Kraken jersey and I'm gonna post a tutorial next week. That jersey I think is my favorite jersey I've done. Outside of jerseys, my Sabrina Carpenter trunk was definitely my favorite thing that I did or have done. The idea of it and also like the physical like finished product of it was so cool. Send me more hockey jerseys, please. I love them. I love doing them. I love hockey jerseys so much. There's so much surface area to cover on a hockey jersey, just generally. It doesn't matter what the logo is, doesn't matter what the number is, but they're always my favorite because like they have the most rhinestones on them. So please send me more. Number 18, least favorite projects, question mark. The Charlie XCX and the Troye Sivan jackets were not my least favorite, but they were the hardest fucking things to do for lots of reasons. One of them being I had never ever rhinestoned a leather jacket in my life. Rhinestoning a leather jacket is so unpredictable because the stones just slide around. I had to wait like between 3 and 4 hours for the stones to like set enough so that I could turn the sleeve and work on like the next little teeny tiny part of it. I know that I can do absolutely anything after that project. Also, the day that I got the jackets, like they were delivered to my front door, my grandmother and my dog passed away. within an hour apart of each other. So that was difficult. I didn't really properly get to grieve either of them because I was like, well, I can't cry because then I can't see what I'm doing and work has to get done. But like, I did that. No one asked me to put my grief on the back burner. Still to this day, that was in October. I have not gone through the stages to properly grieve like two very important things in my life. Sorry to make that like really depressing, but that was also one of the reasons why it was so extremely difficult to do. It's fine now. Is it? I don't know. I loved those jackets. It was so difficult for me to part with them because they were so cool. That was easily the most impressive thing I've ever done. Like, I impressed myself. Number 19, what is a small business hot take? I'm gonna target this question kind of more of like an art direction. There are some people that are 100% not cut out to have a small business. Not to say that in like a condescending kind of way or be like, I am the most qualified, the most successful small business out there, because absolutely not. If you are drawing, if you are painting, if you are rhinestoning, if you are sculpting because you want to make money, and because you want to be wealthy, no. Money is a perk, it is not the purpose. And I will die on that hill. Like, it's not gonna stick. There's no way. It's like, if you don't have a passion behind creating art, do your research and find a different way to make money, because it's just eventually going to burn you out. Like I said earlier, there are days where I don't want to rhinestone, there are days that I don't want to draw, but it is because I love what I do so much that makes me want to continue doing it even on my hardest days. I'm not shaming anybody that wants to make money at all. Money is great, especially with the economy about to go to fucking shit. There are a lot of other ways to make money. There are a lot of ways where you can like set up a business and like have it run on the back burner and just have money flow in. That's not this. Art is a very niche industry as it is, and it is already being like mass produced, which is very upsetting. But when it comes to a small business, an art small business, like I said, that's the direction kind of I'm taking this whole point. That's not the route you should take. Okay? If you want to sell things, if you want to start a business just to make money, there are other ways to do that. Don't for a second underestimate the people that make art for a purpose and also for a living. Making money is awesome, making money is great, making money is essential. Just try to find a different route to do so. Question number 20, we made it. Let's go. What is the ultimate goal for your business? My ultimate goal is to do this full-time. Very appreciative of the job that I have and the fact that I have two forms of income. However, the job that I have is absolutely not in any kind of field that I want to be in long-term. At the end of the day, of course, there are things that I don't always love encountering, but I genuinely do not know where I'd be without it. Freelancing for other artists would be cool, or like working for like a sports team's dance team would be awesome. I would love to rhinestone like a jersey for Chapel Roan, for Sabrina Carpenter. I would love to do something for like Olivia Rodrigo, Tate McRae. There are so many things that I can do outside of jerseys, like shoes, headphones, all the things. You guys have seen it all. I would love to also work with somebody else that was like, rhinestone this for me, you have full creative freedom. I think that'd be so fun. But ultimately, keep running my business no matter what that looks like. I see rhinestones as far out into my future as possible. Unless some crazy fucking shit happens to me that I can't do this anymore, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, damn. I'm gonna keep rhinestoning, and I'm gonna keep drawing, and I'm gonna keep creating arts as much as I possibly can. All right, kids, we made it to the end of the video. Thank you for listening to me if you made it this far. This was so fun. I love talking. Thank you for listening to me yap. My main form of social media is TikTok. It's where I get most of my business. There's so much that the platform of YouTube can provide to anybody. I just wish I would have started sooner, but better late than never, right? I really want to learn how to play the piano. I really want to learn how to use my sewing machine. I really want to document the behind the scenes of my business more often. Maybe I'll start classes somehow, some way in the future. I know that I have talked enough for this video, but I genuinely am so grateful for all of you for watching this video, for watching any of the videos, any of the content that I make. It is such a surreal experience to be behind the screen and see all the love come through. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.